Hey there, soul seers. Welcome to Avis Seer Tarot Readings. I don't know why I want to say tonight. So, tonight we'll be looking into what is there for the collective, right? What comes out, what brings clarity. I'm getting a nationwide clarity in some cases. So, there is some sort of nationwide clarity that some people need, or I don't know, maybe something is happening on a national level. Maybe I don't know, you know, some things are being exposed. God is showing a different type of way to people. Yeah. It reminds me of the Epstein's files, how overnight people just got, but it does, people got, clarity about, nationwide clarity about something, confirmations about something. But then it doesn't seems like for me, I don't like the Epstein's file isn't much of a big deal because I think we all saw it coming, right? Like we all saw some of these big people's name to be in there. Like we all saw it coming, right? Yeah, and sort of had to let's just say I don't know what to say. Maybe we had to like compromise with certain things and certain people, right? And that we were already compromising with. Hmm. Regardless, regardless. You know, um, what else is there? What else is there that I would like to say? Yeah. Before you start this reading, do read the disclaimer in the description box, right? If you, yeah. And with that, we'll start this reading, right? Okay. So, my dear spirit guides, ancestors, earth angels, the universe in itself, separated and as in itself, in its own whole, and is as whole as it is. Can you please orchestrate some divine messages for our collective today to tell us, to heal us, to move us forward towards this one goal, which is in our journey that is, you know, um, liberation of ascension of the souls and liberation of it via this earth's journey. So, yeah, please share something for this collective read. Oh, so the first card is the Queen of Swords. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Reminds me of that song by Shiny. Don't call me. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Um, yeah, the truth might sound harsh, but because it's the truth, it has a ring of it has a ring. It has a ring of honesty to it, right? It has a ring to it. It has an honesty to it. It has a vibe to it. Mm, I plan to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Don't call me, don't call me, don't call me. Reminds me of that song, Don't Call Me by Shiny. Knight of Wands upright. Okay, I swear by the truth that this is my honest and genuine feelings towards you. These are how honest my feelings are towards you. These are my honest feeling towards you. These are the things that I don't tell the world openly enough, but I need to be open about it. So this is about, I don't know, collective. I feel like there is already, we are starting off this energy with the blunt honesty, and the Knight of Wands is in the back of the deck. So I feel like this is not just blunt honesty. This is somebody taking the risk to tell, to be honest. They are finally taking the risk to come out and be honest about something. King of Cups is in reverse. So this person could have been yeah, they may have been feeling a lot of emotional turmoil recently. Maybe they aren't able to keep control of their emotions anymore. And yeah, this is the big risk that they have decided to take. They have decided to tell the truth. And this truth, Seven of Swords upright, seems like the truth regarding something that they had stolen from other people, some sort of credit that they had taken from other people without their permission. Page of Swords is in reverse. So, and yeah, they got caught. They got caught trying to, find out information about other people. Maybe these other people were trying to like feed them with fake information so that um this person doesn't gets to know, because yeah, like this person got caught trying to spy on other people in some manner. Yeah, whatever, whoever this is or whatever this energy is, this could be a collective energy as a whole, right? Like somebody was like cheating for a very long time, and while they were cheating on other people and trying to find out information on them, um, and trying to spy on other people to find out gossip about them, they couldn't get much on their hands. So I feel like now this person is, like there is some sort of energy where maybe these people are feeling an emotional turmoil, emotional chaos, and now they cannot keep it under wraps anymore. So now they are like, sort of releasing it. I won't just say the word releasing it, but I'm also saying like they are risking it. They're risking it all to tell it out loud, you know, what they really feel about the situation. Dear spirit guides, what are the next messages? So I'm getting somebody was, trying to butter things up, trying to smooth things out, like they were trying to like, fake compliment somebody to sort of come to their side. Yeah, the justice is in here upright, the nine of cups is in reverse, the six of pentacles is in reverse. So yeah, I do feel like somebody was I won't say, oh my god, this is such a weird scenario. Now I'm getting a very very weird scenario in my head, right? Like I'm seeing and this is a vision that I saw some days back, right? So I'll be very careful to word it, but in a sense, it's kind of like, how there are all these singers, all these celebrities, and you always hear a rumor, right, that these people are um, working for Satan or sacrificing people in the name of Satan, something like that. So I'm getting that type of energy in here. Like people are drawn to these people for their own pleasure, for their own um, self. Um, I'm getting self emancipation. I totally forgot the meaning of that word, but people are moving towards, how people move towards these celebrities and these brands to sort of like, feel sort of special about themselves, not special about themselves, but basically like, they end up getting seduced by these, um, I don't know why I wanted to say covert narcissist, even though I don't think any of like I don't personally think that any of these I don't think that any of these people could be like covert narcissists, right? But there is like I know that there are few in a crowd of 100. I don't think everybody can be a covert narcissist, right? So there's somewhat of an energy where people are like, not seeing the word covert narcissist itself feels like, like people cannot see how much of a how much of a self entitled or self aggrandizing individual this person could be. And these people are like looking at the persona of these people, looking at the brand, the persona of these people, and are getting seduced, and idolizing these people and their images, right, for their own. And like, it's like mostly, for example, if there is a brand, for example, if there is a restaurant brand, so people are like, I won't say it's a bad thing to go to a restaurant, but it's almost like I don't know, being seduced by the idea of food, gluttony, being seduced by the idea of other people, of being seduced by other people, which is lust. Similarly, becoming someone who power hungry, becoming someone power hungry. So I feel like someone is like, yeah. So there is also and I was also like, how, like I see how many, like, like how people end up becoming so obsessed with these parasocial relationships that they start worshipping the, like, one or two people and become obsessed with them, right? It's also the same case with AI, how so many people are becoming obsessed with AI games, and they are like ready to like sacrifice anything for their AI. Um, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to go and buy things from your own hard work, right? But it's almost like um, giving it all away for your favorite, giving it all away for your idol, giving it all away for the sake of worshipping these people, right? Or worshipping this AI or something like that. Now, what I'm getting with the Six of Pentacles in reverse is that it's a totally reverse feeling. Okay, it's not somebody who's taking someone else's generosity, but Six of Pentacles in reverse literally reminds me of people, like the people who are seduced, the people who are like, I won't say seduced, but the people who are, um, let's just say, I would say that the Six of Pentacles in reverse literally gives me like, now these people used to worship, or used to idolize these specific celebrities or specific idols and this and that, right? And now what has happened is that the according to the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it is like, what will happen if these people, that these what will happen if these celebrities, these idols, these um, cult leaders that people are worshipping, right? Now I won't go to say that idols are cult leaders or anything, but what I'm trying to say is that, these, that there's a whole damn cult following and obsession going around these people, right? So what will happen if any of these people, like any of these idols and big people whom the normal people are worshipping, right? What will happen if all of these big people decided to like snatch away people's identities from them? What will happen if all of these people decided to take away from the very crowd that pays them money and worships them? This absolutely reminds me of this brands, right? Clothing brands who are basically who are infamous for appropriating indigenous culture and calling it their own, right? Um, Stealing away people's culture and making it a brand for themselves. So there is somewhat of a, I'm getting indignation in that. So there is like there's this indignity. There is this, how do I say this? Um, Disrespect towards the culture, towards the people, while also taking money from the people, with while also taking exaggerated amounts of money from people to, or exorbitant amount of money from people to exploit them by selling these people the same culture that once upon a time these brands used to um, demonize, or used to um, consider as boring, bland, or bad. So almost like changing up the entire narrative just for the sake of feeling good, you know changing up the entire, yeah, I'm getting, that's the clarity and the truth right here, that there are people who are changing up the entire narrative based on Yeah, they are changing up the narrative of the truth based on how they feel. Yeah, instead of accepting the truth, instead of accepting, instead of reminding people of their origin, or there's like these brands, or these people are like trying to, I won't say brainwash, but sort of like, yeah, I'm feeling like people, like not giving people enough time to ponder in silence, and creating this loud noise around the block about these big things that these so-called brands are achieving, right? Like they're achieving so many big things by selling the same ethnic things that the people used to wear, and shaming those people from wearing those things, and now selling those same ethnic things in a much higher price, exorbitant price, right? So there is like an exploitation of stealing from other people, and all, even though when people were like, it's sort of exploiting other people, like people were already being generous towards you, people were already being generous towards your brand, they were already considering your brand as a big thing, and then you just started exploiting them, you started erasing them and their identity, and just started making it all about yourself. And this is what I'm getting with the nine of cups in here. It's like basically pleasure, it's basically changing everything up in the name of pleasure, changing everything up in the name of pleasure, and making it all about, yeah, if it feels good to you, you would rather, yeah, just because it feels, just because it looks good and feels good to the brand, it will make the ethnic culture look good, or it will make the ethnic culture look trendy. And unless and until it doesn't feels good to them to do so, they would, I won't say euphemize it. Yeah, but it's almost like euphemizing it, sort of like they would erase it, or they would erase the existence of this ethnicity, unless and until, and will only revive it when they themselves as a brand need it, right? And I'm also seeing like there's a, with the high priestess in reverse in here, there's a lot of noise around this. Um, like people are making a, like it's like these people are making a lot of, these brands are making a lot of noise, right, around people, so that they don't have, so so that people keep on, so that people are occupied with the noise rather than the silence, so that people are occupied with the noise all the time. Yeah, that's what this energy gives me. It gives me this high priestess is trying to occupy people with, high priestess in reverse is like people's minds, people's heads are occupied with the noise, with too much noise to actually like silently ponder upon the things that they are losing on a daily basis. Like they are listening to so many criticization from left and so many criticism from left and right, that they are not able to make out what is right or wrong for them in some manner. They are blindly following the crowd, they are blindly following the, um, yeah, they're blindly following the trends, the crowd, and everything else. So I feel like with the queen of swords upright and the justice upright, there is like, finally there is like an answer, finally like somebody, yeah, finally like people are speaking up, they are finally speaking up about how much, uh, like the truth of their culture, the truth of their ethnicity, right? And like there was once upon a time, we used to live in a world where ethnic culture, these people were erasing our ethnic culture and making it into, and turning it into their brands, right, turning it into a performance by these brands, rather than the spirituality, rather than the belief systems, rather than the rituals that um, that these ethnic that these ethnic art styles and designs were originated from, right? And yeah, I feel like suddenly people are waking up, they are finally finding it out, and they are protesting against it. They are finally looking at things. I'm getting looking at things in the right eyes, almost like, yeah, finally looking at things in a proper manner. Yeah, the king of pentacles is upright in here. So something tells me that I think this is about like something around the lines of world economy or something like that. And I feel like now, because the king of pentacles is in here, I feel like the money is about to move in this direction. Like, um, finally people are moving money into the direction where, like, I feel like the money is going to be in the direction of this ethnicity, local based stuff, and all of it. And I feel like these brands, like, yeah, I feel like these brand identities are finally falling down. I do not know. I do not know much about astrology, though I try to, like, study some of it. And sometimes I get really good insights when I study it. Right. If you see, there are these people who are predicting a lot of stuff about. Um, I think, I don't know. I think this time around Saturn and Neptune are in conjunction in the sign of Aries, I guess. According in Western astrology, it's in the sign of Aries, right? So almost like, there is like a, yeah, there is like a change. I don't know what change is there, but something like the authority, the way we used to perceive. Neptune, on the other hand, talks about abstract concepts, right? And when I say abstract concepts, I will like to talk about brands, all right? Because brands are often built on abstract concepts. They are not built on real things. Like all this mindset, right? That the rich is different from the poor. The rich has the old money class or old money vibe to them. It's just that, yeah, most of the rich people and their wives have always been things that they stole from ethnic cultures, right? And they just wore it around the block. And now they just want to, yeah, it's like all these flashy clothes that these people used to talk about were the same things that they stole from other cultures and shamed people for wearing those ethnic for wearing those ethnic cultures, for preserving those ethnic cultures by calling them superstitious, right? While donning those same cultures on their body and calling themselves rich the whole damn time that they were doing all this nonsense, right? So there is a sense where I feel like, I think this divide, especially there were a, I feel like, yeah, this divide that this abstract divide that was built in our minds, right? About somebody's persona or about some brands, I feel like that is changing. Or there is a, because justice is in here, I feel like there is a change coming in for these brands. There is a, yeah, I'm getting there's a totally new different argument that is being placed right now. Yeah, exactly, right. There's a totally new different argument that is being placed as of now. I'm seeing the fool in reverse. So basically, yeah, um, I don't know. I'm also getting like, for people who are even trying to do something new, maybe they are being shamed. Yeah, yeah, the higher fund upright, the six of wands upright. All right, listen, the higher fund, as I consider higher fund as a very, many people are like, higher fund is a very spiritual figure or something like that. If you haven't watched my deck review of Libanco Darrow that I did some days back, you should like go back and watch that video. And in that video, in I have talked about higher fund in depth and how I think higher fund is, right. So this higher fund right here is like yeah, this is like the tradition. This is, at least in this case scenario, I feel like this is a tradition and an influence. But I don't know. I'm also sort of getting like people who will try to do something new, you know, people who will try to do something new will be laughed at, or people who will try to make something new, I'm getting make up something new or something like that, they will be laughed at. So something around the lines of I feel like the tradition is going to rule this time around. For example, the ethnic cultures and the ethnic traditions that had existed years back, right? I feel like yeah, that is going to rule these days. Um, anything new, anything like I feel like yeah, anything ancient, because I'm seeing the Hierophant upright and the Six of Wands upright. I feel like yeah, anything that is associated with tradition, culture, and history, that is going to be marketed more and more. I'm also seeing a little bit sad news on the side of people who are trying to start something new. Especially, you know, when they are making mistakes, especially when they are making rookie cringe mistakes, right? I feel like those people will either get laughed at or their pursue. I also feel like if you want to like introduce something new into the market, yeah, maybe be careful about it in some ways or aspects, because there is somewhat of an energy in here where it just feels like if you do something new, you will be laughed at or people will make a clown out of you. Yeah, because I don't know, there is somewhat of an energy of everything needing to be in a perfect manner or in a perfect order in something like that is here, all right? Like, yeah, let's see. What about the people who are starting something new? Okay, wait a second. Yeah, let me, yeah. What about people who are starting something completely new, right? I don't know. Um, I don't know. I think in Aquarius also we have some placements, but something about, I don't know, something about doing new things. You know, I feel like the noise is growing louder, especially when it comes to the ancient cultures and the ancient scriptures, whatever is written in the ancient cultures and ancient scriptures. And when I say ancient cultures and ancient scriptures, I'm also trying to say that maybe these in there was a, like, you know, all these brands, you know, for example, um, Gucci, Dolce Gabbana, whatever these Gucci, Gabbana, ABCDEFGH, all these brands are there, right? I feel like Dior, I feel like these brands can also represent higher fund in some manner, because I feel like if there is an emergence of a new fashion brand or something like that, yeah, I feel like those fashion brands will be met with some sort of shame unless and until they decide to reform themselves through some ancient cultural, ethnic, traditional art styles or fashion fashion styles, right? So there's something like, yeah, like new age fashion houses. For example, you know, somebody just decided to open a boutique that has nothing but anime clothing line, or that has nothing but um, you know, futuristic alien clothing line, right? So there is something around the lines of maybe, I won't say that those things will be brushed off in the rug by public, but there is an energy or a feeling that unless and until it's connected to the history, unless and until it's connected to the culture, or unless and until it already has its roots and influence on the people, it won't thrive. It would be laughed at. For example, it's sort of like if you come from a sort of like your culture might not do the best in other countries. That's that, because those countries will be having a new reform, or those countries will be trying to reform their own cultural space, right? So there is something like that is going on here, like the world or the people will be going through this transition of finding out their own culture, their own meaning, their own ethnicity, and This is why, with the high priestess in reverse, it is very important to not give into the noise and try to listen and try to listen to everything. Yeah, but and try to listen to everything, but not focus on those one or two bad apples in some manner. I don't know. Like I feel like there is a lot of noise. There is a lot of noise around. Trying to become cultural, trying to become this and that. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, right? But I feel like there is also a circulation of superstitions in some manner. Like a circulation of an idea that rituals are, especially, there were ancient rituals where some very harmful ancient rituals used to exist in communities and societies, right? So I feel like those ancient rituals, yeah, like people can see a revival of those. Yeah, people can see a revival of those, but with a new, but with a, and I don't know, but it's almost like there will be so much rush, there will be so much, I'm literally getting like there will be, these things will be trending and people will not have the time to silently ponder if these traditions and these rituals that these people are trying to popularize is okay for them or not. Something like not listening to your body too much, going with the flow to the point and extent that you are ready to, um, that you're ready to sacrifice anything for it, or you're ready to like not see how badly other people are trying to exploit you or steal your culture away from you. So there is a, yeah, there is a double-edged sword that I'm seeing as of now. Okay, yeah, and as I said that I saw the Ten of Pentacles upright. So okay, so this is like the legacy that, this is like the legacy that was left behind, and everybody's just trying to like catch up with the legacy of everybody else, but it's like, what about, it's, yeah, there's something like, listen to the silence, try not to focus too much on the noise, understand your devotion to your spirituality with your own mind rather than the mind of the crowd, or rather than the mind of the community. Yeah, there is something around the lines of that. Like there's a double-edged sword in here, like I feel like some people will become extremely, I won't say extremely religious, but I'm also getting like extremely superstitious in some manner, and will end up destroying their own bodies if they do not learn to listen to their bodies. Yeah, I'm getting there's a justice to that in some manner, in some ways. Okay, let's just see. What is this double-edged sword that we need to talk about, Spirit? Ooh, got it. The sun in reverse. Okay. The double-edged sword is being exposed. Okay, the double-edged sword is being exposed for doing something new, doing something creative. Okay, I don't know why I'm seeing the Four of Wands in here. So there is something around the lines of creating a stability based on other people's resources. Okay, creating stability based on other people's resources, or other people's culture, or other people's ethnicity, right? I really love the Queen of Cups in this deck because she looks exactly like the person who wrote the card, right? Who made the card deck. Um, yeah, man. Like the homes. Somebody's home was built from. I won't say crows, but someone's home was built on a very rude note. Like there is something so demeaning, culturally demeaning note, right? Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that loss of connection as of now. Yeah, loss of connection to the divine creator, or loss of connection um, to the roots of who we are as an individual, right? The loss of connection to the roots of who we are as an individual, and an egoic connection to the identities that we have built around us. That is sort of what I'm getting in here. Yeah, I'm sort of getting like these same identities that I won't say could have charmed us, but yeah, like the same identities which that could have charmed us into thinking that I'm getting, yeah, that could have charmed us into thinking that they are fey, or that they are much better than everybody else, or that they are, yeah, this is a charm, right? So Knight of Cups is in reverse, so it's almost like this is a charming person. This is somebody who made other people feel less charming about themselves, and I feel like they are being exposed. And yeah, I feel like that entire idea, that yeah, I feel like some the double-edged sword in this is like there were homes, there were houses, there were some stable outlets that were built from this set of lies. Yeah, from this set of exploitation. All right, I think this is good, but I feel like there is a loss of structure, loss of stability, and that is sort of like, yeah, that can be sort of debilitating for the crowd, for the public in some manner. So yeah, Oh damn, I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't know what happened. I was like talking about how everybody, man, I don't know, man. The voice just went off all of a sudden. I don't know why do I often get this. Like maybe it's because I'm not careful enough, right? But yeah, man. Now I have to explain this again. Shit. What I think I'll have to edit this video again, man. But what I was trying to say is that some of these traditional cultures, some of these traditional people, I feel like yeah, they will get away with um they will get away with saying whatever lies that they were saying, and they will get away with um you know they will get away with looping stories of whatever the heck they want to say. For example, astrology community is infamous for telling people that if they have an XYZ placement or ABCD placement in their chart, they will end up um, they will end up like they will end up dying soon, or some tragedy will happen, and that's why they need to buy this remedy, buy that remedy, do this shit, do that shit. So I feel like with the Ace of Swords in reverse in here and Seven of Swords in here that has come out, yeah, and that's what I was speaking about. I feel like all of these like yeah, there will again, people will spin fables and tales and myths to keep people in um a cycle, to keep people in a ongoing cycle of you know I would say blind cycle of stupidity in some manner, right? Yeah, I would also say don't allow this sort of um, immaturity. Don't allow this sort of immaturity to sort of like like yeah, like people will pretend to be. I feel like yeah, all these ancient people, all these ancient ritual, or all these so called, I'm getting herald of people, traditional people. I feel like yeah, they will try to make themselves look, or they'll at least pretend to be really good on the outside, right? Because I remember like I don't know if you have heard this or not, if that was audible in the recording or not, but I was saying that there are so many cultural institutions out there, so many religious institutions out there, especially you know um, like there are so many Indian institutions out there, right? That will try to spread the Indian culture, but they will try to, but the figures of some of these, uh, but the authoritative figures who are actually like spreading these cultures are very, I would say, they are like they are exploiting, or they are taking away other people's culture. For example, there is one thing called Christian yoga. Then there are some religious institutions, right? And the heads of these religious institutions will be convicted for RAPE or MURDER, and these people will run a whole damn religious organization, and they will recruit people in the name of spiritual enlightenment and stuff like that, right? So I feel like that's the thing that I'm getting right here, like this pretension, especially for immature people who are not able to discern between the right and wrong. I feel like this um, pretension can actually like pull them in, in some manner. Also, with the Seven of Swords in upright and the Ace of Swords in reverse in here, I'm getting, how astrology people will sometimes, like, traditions will tell people that if you do not do this, if you do not do that, some tragedy will happen. And I feel like, yeah, there is a sense that they might get away with it. I'm also seeing, and now I'll talk about something higher fund-ish that happens a lot in the modern society, right? I'll talk about the example of Kim Kardashian. So, for example, if Kim Kardashian, like they're used to, like, I feel like Hierophant, she embodies Hierophant in its totality, because she can form this brand around herself, she can form this cult around herself, where I'm so sorry if this is getting noisy, all right, but there are some, like, yeah, the noise has increased and everything else. But yeah, she embodies Hierophant in such a great manner, right? Because if she says, if she goes and sells any product, it gets sold off the shelves in 24 hours or 48 hours, right? Because she's a businesswoman like that. And that is what Hierophant is. Hierophant is being able to sell an idea, being able to sell a fable to people, and being able to make people worship that fable, right? Being able to make people worship that fable, right? So I feel like there is something around the lines of people, like this time around, the ancient or the traditional or the religious entities, or the so-called brands, being able to get away from doing that once again. So that's a double-edged sword that I'm getting in here. While they're pretending to be, um, four of wands is like the idea of being homely. It gives me the idea of, Goldilocks and the bear, and how those bears had a very warm house and everything else. So it's like the idea of this warm house, the idea of this warmth, the idea of this nurturance. Yeah, that becoming, um, see, it's sort of like an idea of hearth, a idea of homemaking, the comfort and harmony of feeling of being rooted, right? A sense of belonging. Like these institutions, these religious, cultural, ancient institutions can end up, serving up these identities to these people, for making them feel like they are in home, for making them feel like they have a sense of belonging, they have a sense of identity. While, and the immature person might not, like, it's, I'm seeing the Knight of Cups in reverse, so it's like almost like not being able to see the, yeah, not being able to see the reality, or not being able to see the real, um, actual emotions behind some people. Yeah, it's like this unrealistic expectation. People will end up over romanticizing things or seeing things with rose colored glasses, right? Which can end up clouding their vision. So there's something around the lines of this blind idealism that can cause people to, like, end up getting fooled by these, um, so-called big institutions, right? Yeah, or so-called cultural heralds, as to say. So I do not know why I wanted to say sudden cacophony, sorry, sudden outburst of something. But we have the star in reverse in here. So I also feel like there is an energy where people might, I think that's a double edged sword, right? That's a double edged sword that people would rather, yeah, rather than listening to ourselves and our own minds, that's what I got from the previous high priestess in reverse, right? Rather than leaning into your own silence and listening to yourself, and listening to your own intuition, most likely. The star in reverse also here talks about basically doing things because you should do things, doing something because the culture, tradition, the religion has told you to do some things, and now it just makes sense, why. I'm not saying that it, I just feel like, that moment of silence that we had, for a while, like when you couldn't hear my voice, I felt like that silence was reflective. It was it was basically, I feel like, a way of giving people that silence, giving people that, you know that mute, or that mutedness, so that um they can understand themselves, they can see themselves. Because I feel like with the star in reverse, there's a lot of, I should do things like this. The tradition told me to do it like this. The Hierophant told me to do things like this. This was the same way how it used to happen before, right? Even in the modern day of trends, how people are like, well, I should dress up like this. I should be, I should have the trendiest Stanley Cup in my hand. I should have the trendiest, um, mermaid pants. I should have those trendy, um, I don't know, anything garbage, whatever is trending. Like, it's like people are, yeah, I feel like the collective might feel this purposelessness, okay? This, where it's like, yeah, something around the lines of, like, I feel like, yeah, the purposelessness could also be from the fact that, they were trying to run away from one form of um, ritualistic behavior, and then they ended up performing trends. And then they ended up doing trends or performing another type of ritualistic performances, right? Another type of ritualistic, not a ritualistic, but basically, like, if a celebrity brings out this latest latex suit or latex underwear, right? Everybody's gonna go and buy that latex underwear, whether it makes sense or not. So it's almost like it has turned into a ritual. Everybody thinks that they should do it because that is how things should happen. The judgment is in reverse. So basically, people are like denying, they know that something is hollow. They know that they are feeling that purposelessness. They understand it, all right, but they are, yeah, I feel like many people are moving towards the tradition and the culture and the indigenous path. And I feel like again they will feel this cycle of how these rituals are not connecting with them anymore, and they will try to make it connect, or they'll try to force themselves to connect with it. Yeah, and in the end of the day, again, I feel like there is like this cycle that is going on in the culture as of now, or people are like recognizing that um, the things that they wanted to do have now turned into things that they should do, you know. And with the judgment in reverse in here, yeah, someone, like, it's like maybe the public is not yet will they might the public might not be ready to accept that they have to find something new, or they won't be. I'm getting a lot of cult worship as of now, okay? I'm getting a lot of cult worship, like, especially because in this unveiled tarot, the high priestess is basically a rock star, so it reminds me a lot of celebrity worship and this and that. So I feel like people will be a lot more, I'm getting gazed towards, or they will be more poised towards this idea of cult worship, or this idea of you know relying on this cult, relying on this cult worship, or on this celebrity worship, to the point and extent that even if they know that something bad is happening, I don't know, it reminds me of this thing. I was like doom scrolling yesterday, all right, and then all of a sudden I just realized that uh, not that it can cause severe health issues. And then I was like, I don't want that health issue, right? And then I was like, yeah, it's almost like, that something bad is going to happen, that it will lead to long term, it will lead to diseases in the long term in some manner, but you're doing it because you should do it, or there is a ritualistic habit to it, there is a ritualistic nature to it, so you just cannot stop it any longer, you know that's the energy that I'm getting in here. I'm also seeing like a formation of new habits. And here we go. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse in here. One of the things that I really like about the Lubanco Tarot is how this Eight of Wands in here is like completely different from whatever we often see Eight of Wands in different other tarot decks, right? Like, there is this person who is trapped in a bunch of wands, and I'm like, okay, isn't that a little bit of a Ten of Wands representation? But no, it's not. It is the Eight of Wands, and she has her own way of expressing this guy. So she says, the eight stars on the figure's back seem precariously carried, and yet he does not waver or moves with the quickness. The figure is not deterred, only excited by the challenge and quick to prove a pleased deftness of movements. So there are two eight cards in here. So the number eight could be significant, but I'm sort of, I don't know why I'm also feeling the justice card giving me that number eight signification in some way. So if you don't know that in original tarot deck, the justice card was supposed to be number eight, and the strength card was supposed to be number 11, right? So yeah, there is like I'm getting a necessary feeling to adjust to that. All right, listen. Now, Lubanko actually talks about this justice number 8 and number 11 interchanging with each other, and she asks us if you know if justice comes after if justice comes after choosing the right path, that is the chariot card number 7, or does it comes after the world after we have seen, or does it comes after this unexpected um, plot twist, that is a wheel of fortune. And the, I feel like, yeah, she has written about it in such a beautiful manner. I will read it for you guys. Yeah, this is the justice card. Yeah, I consider just see um I consider justice to be a card that hovers in many places simultaneously. Some decks will switch it with the strength card, placing it before the hermit, the one who has gotten a better sense of where they stand in the world. To me, justice is throughout. Our sense of justice and how it works changes drastically as we age, and see how the stories we were told as children hold up to the reality of the world. Okay? So she talks about the traveler's journey, and she's like, I'm talking from the lovers, all right? So people have they have encountered the inner and the outer powers, the foundations of family, power, culture, and hierarchies. That is card number 0 to 5. And then they have loved and lost. They have journeyed to find their inner truths and found their inner strength and used it to push them through. And then they have experienced the harsh buffeting about the wheel of fortune. On some level, they have already seen justice. They have seen how justice is conceptualized by family, by power, by culture, by hierarchy, and how those differ. They have seen the great formlessness of the wheel of fortune and the shakiness that often feels like an injustice to those searching for meaning. So, throughout all that, to be confronted with the concept of justice now, they might ask, what does this mean? And justice card is not about the first sighting, but constant re-examining. All right, it's about constant re-examining. It's about the importance of re-evaluation, right? That is what justice is. So something about so yeah, with the eight of wands in reverse in here, I just feel like people are trying. I really feel like this is something around the lines of trends. All right, like people are trying to keep up with the trends, but in the end of the day, yeah, I'm also seeing this song. This song is One and Only by X Love. It's a K-pop group of trans with, I don't know, it's yeah, it's gender fluid um, K-pop group, right? So yeah, I saw. So yeah, I just feel like people are finding it hard to compare themselves, or they are finding it hard to constantly be in competition. Like the pressure is too high, and the things are big. Like, yeah, it's like in this fast-paced situation, they feel pressured to outperform themselves, or they pressure to put on this performance every single day, right? And I feel like because of this outperformance, I feel like the idea of tradition, the idea of going by the book, or the idea of finally, finding a footing. Mm, like finally, I feel like when I say higher fund upright, I also mean like the idea of understanding someone's hard work, the idea of understanding how things are slowly going from one place to another, and how things start from the basic bottom and then they move upwards, right? So there is something around that people are understanding. They are finally realizing that they cannot keep up with the fast paced, yeah, they cannot outperform the fast paced, performance based media or algorithm that is being, that is, yeah, with the eight of pentacles upright, that is asking of them to master a quality in 2 3 days or in 2 3 minutes. They cannot keep up with that, right? And I'm getting that in here. I feel like all that hard work, all that depth, all that mastery that goes into, um, I'm getting savoring a performance, or giving out a performance. I feel like, yeah, people are not able to keep up with those changes, and that is something that might be hurting them. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see what else. What are the positives that we can see from this entire situation? Ten of Pentacles upright. The card comes out again with an amazing Knight of Wands in reverse. I really love this Knight of Wands, man. From, I don't know, the Lubango paintings are really cool. They are really cool. I think you should check out my deck review where I'm talking about the higher font and all that. I think you'll get an idea on what I'm trying to say. It's a very beautiful deck. All right, I'll be honest, okay? There is the collective is taking fire. Like the collective is like feeling this energy, fast-paced energy of Aries for some reason. Because I'm seeing a lot of cards that are talking about hurry and rush and not calming down to see things. So there is something like people need to be a little bit more careful this time around, especially for the collective, because um I don't know why I wanted to say collective, like I was talking about galactic space, somewhere. I don't know. Okay, yeah, but I'm getting there is a reason why, we do things. There is a reason why we make stuff. Try to understand the reason why we do some things. So I was like reading about this Rajasthani um, pattern, like some indigenous artwork, right? This is an Indian indigenous artwork that involves, um, it's a desert artwork that involves a lot of mirror work. All right. So the reason why these people used to do these mirror works was because um, in the cold deserts, it's very hard to see, like when it is dark and there is no electricity, right? Um, like it's hard to see things properly. So what they do is that they'll put mirrors all over their houses, so that the light comes in their house and they don't need to, like, burn a candle to, like, because the heat is already too much, right? So that's the reason why that mirror art was formed. It was a smart way to, like, light up the house. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of Aries energy going on here where people are just, people need to be careful before they, place their investments onto something, or before they try to, I'm getting shape shift to something new. There is something like before they try to, like, yeah, take part in something, participate in something. Yeah, because overall, I feel like even though this year can be um, full of legacy, I'm getting, like people coming together under a tree to, like, sort of enjoy the legacy that they have built. Some people are here for the flowers. Some people are here for the um, shade, right? But that's what the legacy is. That's what a shelter is, right? It's like, for some people it brings calm to them. For some people it brings, it is a place to rest, right? So yeah, I feel like people need to be very careful when they are investing into such big things, at least in this year, because I don't know, there is something around the lines of manifesting things for yourself, but out of an immaturity, like not understanding, like making ostentatious choices, making, big flashy choices without thinking about the consequence, without, like considering other factors, like other monetary factors, or without considering the budget in some manner. That is here. Like, there are some very good things about, I don't know why I'm getting, there are some very good things about 2024, but 2025 can purge you into a deeper depth as of now. Very weird. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm currently in 2026 and this video will be up in 2026, right? There is something about like an year being deleted, or there is something around, I don't know, like, yeah, something about purging. You purged an year, or you purged, like, something about clearing away the problems that started in 2024, 2025, something like that. Yes, and if you aren't careful with it, you might end up, like, spending a lot of lavish amounts of money that I think that need not be spent as much as of now, right? I love this. I don't know why I'm saying Swifty tarot deck. This is not a Swifty tarot deck, but I don't know. Maybe somebody could be a Taylor Swift fan. There maybe there could be a, um I don't know. Maybe Taylor Swift could be into some environmental change this year. I have no idea. All right, I'm just saying. All right, do not ask me if those predictions can come true or not. Maybe, may not be. But yeah, I was getting like a Swifty sort of. I don't know. Maybe Swifty songs could be popular this year. Yeah, can be. Maybe Swifty can make a song about Earth. Who knows? Oh, so let's see what has come out for us. Okay, soul seers. Yeah. Now I took some Cantigi Oracle and I'm placing these cards for a cyclic, to look at the cyclic nature of a situation, right? So I'm using a spread that can be used to explore the destructive cycles or the constructive cycles that the world will go into, right? So the first card that I've got in here is a swan in a crowd of crows, but this is in reverse. And this reminds me a lot of Epstein files right now, because this is the situation that most of the world is facing right now, right? There is a criminal and that criminal is standing out, all right? So there are like people, like I feel like things like these will, I feel like, yeah, people who are trending, people who are in power, all these people are gonna stand out from the common people, and not for a good reason, all right? Also there can be an inferiority complex, even if there is a good reason. I think there can be some sort of inferiority complex that the public might feel towards people who are standing out for a good reason as well. So there is a lot of, I don't know, I feel like there is a lot of this elite branding that is going on. um, I don't know. I feel like that is like the current situation that many people are, um, have, that people might have an issue with. Yeah. Now, I feel like what triggers this is basically because what triggers this entire process is the fact that people are overthinking the choices that they need to take next. They are not able to, it's like, I feel like men, what triggers this situation, whether it is a destructive cycle or a constructive cycle, is maybe for the fact that people are not able to choose or decide which path to take, whether they should take the path that looks right or whether they should take the path that doesn't looks right, but it can hold a treasure at the end of the day, right? So it's almost like, I feel like many people need to actually, stop thinking and start noticing, like noticing what's going on with their body when they look at a whenever they look at a decision, right? Whenever they are looking at two choices that are being presented to them. It's basically trusting ourselves with a decision rather than overthinking about the pros and cons of a decision, right? I feel like the collective is going to feel it in their veins, where I feel like they might end up overthinking the situation, overthinking the choices that are being presented to them. Because I feel like this entire trend of, you know, not this entire notion of trends, or this entire notion of um, impulsively, hopping onto trends, I feel like that is, um, I'm not saying that that would that won't die down soon, but there is some, I'm getting like it might die down soon and people will start overthinking um everything that they are trying to do. They might overthink if they should do this or they should not do this. There is something that might actually influence them in that way, I feel. And believe it or not, I was not expecting 17th February to be solar eclipse, all right. I did not expect it, but for some reason I was able to place the sun card at the right spot. Like in this spread you have to place the sun card somewhere near the place where you want to place it. And I've placed the sun card, and there are four spots to place the sun card, right? So basically, in this year we have two lunar eclipse and two solar eclipse, right? So I correctly placed the card at the point where at the first solar eclipse. And something tells me that people will be very much influenced by permanence, all right. Like they will be influenced by an idea of how significant ending can lead to profound transformations, um, or or I feel like many people will be like, they want to, I don't know, maybe there is something that I don't know, with all this overthinking between two different choices, I'm also feeling like this could be the addiction to social media and stuff like that, right? So there is a part, and also, interestingly enough, on 17th February we have Uranus squaring Sun and Moon, which is in conjunction in Dhanishta Nakshatra, and Uranus is in Kritika Nakshatra. So believe it or not, Kritika Nakshatra is like the nakshatra that's symbolized by the knife. It is used to, like, cut off, um, symbolized by the knife. This nakshatra is basically very good at cutting off or severing ties, right? So there is a part of me that, and also a very knowledgeable nakshatra as well. It's a sun's nakshatra. So I don't know. I feel like technology might end up, exposing some things about, or cutting off the supply of the entertainment industry, or exposing something about the entertainment industry, because Dhanishta is sitting right in, like, Dhanishta, it signifies a lot about the music and the entertainment industry, right? And the sun and moon are in conjunction in that nakshatra on that day. So 17th February can be something, um, I don't know, like, I don't know, technology might glitch when it comes to the matters of the elite, something like that is happening. Like I feel like the technology might, because it is squaring, it might end up like, I won't say solve. Yeah, I'm also saying that solving some problems for the elites, but also sort of hurting their ego and their um, emotions in some manner. We do not know, right? Also, yeah, I feel like many people will be overthinking their choices about what they need to choose as next in their life. I feel like I think that is what triggers the I think that is what might trigger a new cycle within them, because I feel like it is that the collective is trying to accept the elitism, I guess, or the, you know um yeah, I'm getting like, yeah, the collective might be trying to accept the elitism, or the collective might be trying to accept, or like I feel like all of this cycle is like there is some sort of humbleness or humility that the cycle consists of. Yeah, I feel like many people will be very much inspired from the transformation, or the endings that transformation the transformations that come after an ultimate ending. All right, so I think I'll just read this for you. Transforming ultimate loss into unfathomable power. So there is something like breaking a cycle once and for all. So there is that kind of energy in here, which might actually, I won't I don't think it might yeah, there is like an like I feel like this solar eclipse might interrupt the collective with this sort of I think interrupt the collective's upbringing in some manner. I feel like the collective might end up seeing things with this perspective, where they will where they will have to first accept the finality of some experience, and then understand, and it's almost like they are trying to like break a cycle. And I feel like with the solar eclipse, the collective might try to break the cycle of this elitism and of all these things, like whether I should choose this or whether I should choose that is this option gonna be better for the economy, or is this option gonna be more sustainable for me, which option is better. So I feel like instead of over I think, yeah, that this entire I'm getting subjugating of a process. There is some sort of like somebody taking assessment of all these pros and cons can actually might be inspired by the fact that collective wants to end um, a cycle once and for all. I'm also seeing that people will have a lot of like they might second guess themselves a lot, and it might be really hard for them to develop that confidence to do something new, or to do some I'm getting to do something new and healthy as well. So there is something around the lines of like the beginner's mindset. I won't say that the beginner's mindset will be criticized, but I feel like this entire whether I should do this, whether I should do that, it might lead to a sort of uncertainty on, and people might actually develop this sort of, I won't say low self confidence, but there can be a self esteem issue. I was talking about this, right? The sun and moon in conjunct in Dhanishta Nakshatra is squaring the Uranus. There can be some ego issue, man. Like there can be some ego issue that can, um, like the new innovative way of doing things might actually cause some, might actually, like harm the confidence of the collective in some manner. There can be like it's almost like there is this inner freedom to like I'm seeing how cringe is freedom, how being cringe is being free, right? I feel like this I feel like the collective will be a little bit uncertain on developing the confidence that it takes to on developing a confidence or on doing something new for the first time, right? It's like they might have a hard time shedding the assumptions, about the things that they are shedding all the assumptions about things, and to experience the infinite freedom that is available in each movement, right? I feel like it's sort of like, not it's sort of like, I think the collective will be trying to learn about how it is, how to, ask things like a child, ask things without any ego, and how to be cringe, how to be free, how to not be so embarrassed about making mistakes in some manner, because I feel like there is an uncertainty in here, and this uncertainty will, yeah, I feel like the collective might move in this direction where they are just trying to normalize this beginner's mindset, where they might enter into a stage where they are trying to engage into a new experience, or they might bring a clean slate attitude to a familiar experience. So this is all about freeing ourselves from the assumption of whatever we know about something, and looking at things with a new and fresh perspective. So I feel like the collective might be, they might be leaning more into that and learning, and going towards that process. I feel like the peak of this movement, which I think is going to be the next uh, solar eclipse, which I think is in the month of August or some August. Is it in the month of August? Yeah, I think it's the month of August. Maybe it might happen around the month of August. But I feel like with the dark solstice sun in reverse, I feel like, as the collective gains the momentum, whether they need to be in a beginner's mindset or how they will see things with a fresh perspective, I think the collective will end up, in this. I won't say nothingness, but I feel like this is like, yeah, I feel like everybody will like reach towards zero stage in life, like almost like, people will come back to the same place where they all started from. Maybe this is a start of, I feel like, yeah, maybe there will be a start of new trends, maybe there will be a start of new regimes, maybe we'll see the start of something new happening in the month of August itself. um yeah, I feel like whatever, yeah, I feel like there will be like, whatever new beginnings are here, right? Oh no, not August, sorry. This is not August, March. March. I'm so sorry, March. I feel like by the month of March, the public or the collective might actually end up, they might reach a stage where they would want to renew themselves or regenerate themselves, or there is like, I don't know, maybe some people might also feel a creative block in doing something. There is, um, almost like vanishing into the void kind of thing, like people might end up, um I'm getting soliciting, I don't know what soliciting means, but people might end up actually, like, yeah, like advising. I'm not saying advising, but it's almost like they might try to take some time off, because I think there some, I feel like after all this experimentation, and I feel like it's just the acceptance around this fact that, I think it's all around the points of elitism. That's what I'm getting, because a swan in a crowd of crows tells me that there is something unique and exquisite about somebody, but it is not good and unique in a nice kind of way, all right? And I feel like this elitism, I feel like at one point the collective might feel like they are in a dark void, or they are in a, I won't say sharp instinct. I don't know why I'm getting the word sharp instinct, but I'm sort of getting like they might actually, feel as if there is nothing in front of them or something like that. Yeah. For other people who are seeing this in a positive aspect, I feel like people might finally end up, breaking away from this cycle of, um, destructive behaviors. They might actually, after not being able to, after overthinking about different choices, different paths that the collective might think that they need to take, I feel like finally the collective will end up, at least by the next lunar eclipse, I guess they might end up like, leaving it all behind. Yeah, there is like a scenery of nothingness or here. There's like a scenery where somebody is just leaving it all behind, and things have come to a halt in some manner, all right. That's what I'm seeing in here with dark solstice sun in reverse. It's almost like things have come to a halt. And maybe by if you I think I'm also seeing that if you might start to like try breaking your habits from this time onwards. Yeah, it might start with you overthinking the consequence, like overthinking the choices between, if this, yeah, especially if you feel like you're not a part of, if you especially if you feel like you're not a part of the crowd, or especially if you are feeling as if, um I don't know, um like you want to set yourself apart from the crowd, I feel like, um yeah, I think you can do so by first, I think, yeah, you might go in this cycle where you might first, question your own choices, whether you should go back to the same habit or whether you should like go to a new habit. And as you go towards a new habit, I feel like, yeah, you guys might, um, I'm getting the words timing of growth. So something like, yeah, you guys might, like, I feel like you guys might try to, yeah, I'm getting that song, What's Wrong with Being Confident, right? So it's like you guys might try to, um, shimmy the things, or you might try to like cut away the things that are stymieing your growth, that are stopping your growth in any manner. And you will take the essence of whatever you have learned from this behavior, from this bad behavior, from this good behavior, whatever this habit is that you want to change. You might see the consequences of uh, the things that you were doing. I feel like it's also about something around the lines of walking in a purposeless path, and you will finally find out that you do not need to like chase the trends. You might realize that you don't need to go so fast with everything. Take time with learning the skills that you're learning. So yeah, I feel like for it's at the start of it, you might have some problems or some issues where you might have a hard time, um, soliciting this beginner's mindset. And as you move towards it, I feel like in the end, I feel like maybe by the month of March, you might end up like, um, breaking the habits that you had developed for a very long time. And now, yeah, wait a second. Yeah, and I feel like by the last quarter of it, I feel like there is a very, like at the end of it all, I feel like you guys will like complete this process by, embracing your situation, embracing the humility, in which, um, humility that this entire process brings to you. You might embrace the lows that you're in, and it's sort of like, you I feel like, yeah, I feel like the collective is going to learn a lot from the essence of who they are, or what, or the past habits that they had developed. I feel like, yeah, they will learn a lot from that essence of it, and then they will leave it all behind for the next road, right? Yeah, for the next road in their life. So there is an energy like that is coming through in here. I feel like many of you are going to embrace your, yeah, when I say humbleness, I also mean that like humility is very different from low self-esteem. In fact, humility necessarily entails a kind of dignity which comes from knowing our limits. Okay, so there is something around the lines of that, the the collective that was once, the I feel like currently we are going in a stage where we are to accept the elitism of other people. But I feel as time passes by, I feel like at least by the next, not yeah, I think by the next new moon, I'm getting by the next new moon, or by the next um yeah, by the next upcoming solar eclipse, I'm getting, yeah, something like that. I feel like you guys will end up cultivating this sense of humility and understanding that um, there is freedom and power in low places as well. And I feel like there is also like you will accept the leverage that you have in the low position that you are in. And even if you want to, sort of, even if you want to decide to level up, I feel like you guys will try to do that with a clear knowledge of what you are leaving behind this time around. Okay, so I feel like in the start of it, the collective might have a hard time understand, like, like making out if they are leaving the right thing behind or not. But I feel like as they start doing things on their own with a new fresh perspective, with a new fresh mindset to do things with, I feel like the collective might end up like, yeah, I feel like the collective might end up, um, producing a change that is unique to themselves, and they will see things in a more fresher perspective. And I feel like there is a sense of going into a void, or going into this, um, I'm getting the word atma, so almost like going into our inner selves, our inner soul, our inner voice. And I feel like there is a stage where people might reach to a stage of nothingness. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm getting that song. Monday I have nothing to do, Sunday I have nothing to do. So I feel like if this is a destructive cycle, especially when it comes to social media interactions and all that, I feel like, yeah, there can be a little bit laziness around this area. Maybe people might, become potentially like, so dopamine based that they might um, say that they have nothing to do. Because I don't know, there is also a sense of like this entire elitism, the idea of elitism capturing them and sort of like inspiring them not wanting to do something, all right. But I feel like by the quarter of it all, if you take the cycle in a more positive aspect, I think it's a very good time to like, um, I'm getting hinder your habits. So almost like it's a very good time to like um, stop your bad habits in some manner. Yeah. And I feel like by the end of the cycle, I feel like people will end up having this awareness where they would want to embrace and enjoy their life more, or make wiser choices, um, with in a way that contributes to their self dignity more than it contributes to the to acting like a certain type of way for look, or for the aesthetics, for the trends, for the um, I don't know, I'm also getting for the greater good. So almost like yeah, like the collective might end up going towards a path of their own greater good, where they might, accept like they might cultivate this humility, where they are accepting of their own um, limitations, and understand that not everything is possible. Yet wherever I am, whatever place I am at, by God's grace, it's the most beautiful place that I can ever be, right? So there is something around the lines of that that can be noticed by the public. I'm also seeing with the coiled snake in the back of the deck, I feel like the collective needs to be, yeah, I don't want to say the collective needs to be harmful, but I feel like the collective needs to be very careful on like, losing their energy this time around. Because I feel like they need to protect their like only take your energy out when it is necessary. Whenever I see the coiled snake in reverse, I know that this is an energy where protection is at its least, all right. And because this gives me a solar eclipse spread, I do want to say that be careful not to, expend too much of your energy, and also be careful to not be so um, not be so obsessed with your inner, uh, yeah, I would also say that not be so obsessed with, with your comfort and your peace to the point that you would not stand up for yourself. All right, like it's important for you guys to stand up for yourself. Yeah, consider whether your situation calls for you to unfurl your full power, or it is time to conserve your energy and reserve your strength for another time. I feel like the collective needs to like sort of discern on that part. Also, I'm getting like people will become, I feel like, yeah, I'm also seeing that there is a lot more, so there is a chance of, like losing power, or um, using too much power to using too much energy on places where it is not necessary to put too much energy into. I'm also seeing with the hummingbird and languor that like people need to like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, there, I think this time around there are things will be in a little bit more, I won't say in a, yeah, I feel like people will be more patient this time around in some ways or the other. Like there is an idea of being patient towards the things that are happening around, and I feel like they might actually be able to curb that impatience in some manner. Like people, I think, yeah, I feel like people might engage in this sort of idea of conserving their energy until the conditions are ripened, and until the conditions are ripe enough for them to act on. So yeah, I feel like there is like a, yeah, I would say that maybe in the subconscious, like the collective might be, trying to like um, lessen that anxiety, right? All right, and the last thing that I wanted to say was that, yeah, people can see a paradigm shift, I guess, where where they might leave this old phase behind, and I feel like, yeah, they will be like, it's like they might, I'm seeing like a lot of collective, taking a leap of faith and moving forward with a new energy. Yeah, like finding new experiences in life for their own help, right? So it's sort of like whatever it was that was hard for them to face, like I feel like, yeah, the collective might actually, end up facing their fears. I'm getting like something around the lines of PR, so like maybe negative PR. Yeah, I feel like people are becoming more courageous, and like I'm getting lofting their fears away or something like that. So yes, I'm getting some of that energy right now. So yeah, and they might ward off their fears and, start walking in a new terrain. Yeah, I feel like that's something that's happening this time around this year. So yeah, soul seers. That's it for today's reading. It was a very, very long reading, man. Yeah, take care of yourself. Goodbye.